This is Stephen Lahanis, Vice President of Semantech Incorporated, and I'd like to welcome you to our first virtual conference. This conference is entitled the Semantic Enterprise, and this presentation is our introduction and overview to the conference. Thanks for joining. This virtual conference has 3 tracks. It's set up to provide an overview of both the concept, the Semantic Enterprise, and Semantic Technology in general. The tracks for this conference will include Track 1, Elements of the Semantic Enterprise, Track 2, Semantic Technology 101, and Track 3, the Semantic Enterprise in the Real World. This conference is not meant to be a detailed technical discussion of the standards or the particular products being used today for various semantic technology solutions. What we want to explain within this conference is the potential that semantic technology poses to the enterprise as opposed to the global internet or semantic web community in general. We believe that there's much more potential associated with that than most people realize, and this is our focus for this particular conference. We'll have other conferences later where we go into greater technical depth on some of the issues that we raised during this conference. Many of you have already heard of the term the semantic web. The semantic web has been around as a concept since about the year 2000 and a few years before that, but most people have never heard of the concept the semantic enterprise. The semantic web was a bigger picture view to what potential there is associated with semantic technology and semantic standards. However, there's quite a bit of work that needs to be done and many challenges within individual organizations at the enterprise level. And this particular presentation and this concept are focused on that. If we wanted to describe what the semantic enterprise was, we could think of it this way. It's the application of semantic technology and methodology to solve organizational challenges within individual enterprises. It's tightly focused and centered around specific problem sets, as opposed to a wider enablement of capability on the web. One of the most fascinating aspects of the semantic enterprise is the fact that it affects nearly all of IT. Just about everything related to information technology can be enhanced, improved, or otherwise managed differently or better using a semantic enterprise approach. And this is one of the things we're going to talk about in more depth during this particular conference. The particular slide that you're looking at right now is a maturity matrix that's based upon focus on SOA solutions, but this is by no means the only area where it can be applied. The semantic enterprise is a metaphor. It's a metaphor for enterprise IT, holistic IT management, and an overall ability to control technology in a way that isn't being controlled today. A lot of people have tried to approach this from a lot of different directions over the past 10 to 20 years. They've done it through specific types of methodologies like REP or CMMI or Agile. They've tried to do it through specific architecture approaches like enterprise architecture, SOA, cloud computing, and so forth. What we're trying to do here with the semantic enterprise is emphasize that we can necessarily combine all of those elements together under one context. It may have many moving parts and all of it is potentially very complicated, yet we can still unify it. That's the basic idea, the basic metaphor behind this. Over the last 5 years or so, we've applied this concept in a number of different domains and a number of different technology areas. And one of the reasons we're so excited about it is because we've seen how applicable it is across the board. This particular diagram here in this slide illustrates something that we did in context for political strategy and political information systems. And that's a big industry. This year coming up, 2012, is going to be a multi-billion-dollar set of races, and this is an example of how this type of technology can be applied to any specific mission, regardless of the type of technology being used underneath it. Our presentations in this virtual conference within each one of the tracks are going to include the following. In track 1, which is elements of the Semantic Enterprise, presentation 1 will be semantic architecture. Presentation 2 is going to be semantic integration, which is more or less a methodology. Track 3 is semantic intelligence. Presentation 3 of track 1 is semantic intelligence. In track 2, which is Semantic Technology 101, the first presentation is going to be about standards with a particular focus on linked data and RDF. The second presentation is going to focus on some specific products to manage things like ontology and database translation between relational databases and RDF. The third presentation of track 2 is going to be a wider discussion of the semantic web vision and then how that relates to the semantic enterprise. Track 3 is the semantic enterprise in the real world, and that first presentation is going to focus on some use cases. The second presentation is going to be an example how to apply semantic enterprise concepts to cybersecurity, and the third presentation will be example 2, which is going to focus on how the semantic enterprise fits with healthcare IT. Another aspect of the semantic enterprise that we find particularly fascinating and applicable to most IT situations is the fact that it can be applied to problem-based engineering, integration, and solution development. This particular slide illustrates an example from the healthcare domain where specific semantic elements are being used to represent aspects of problems related to medical diagnosis and prognosis algorithms. In conclusion, we want to re-emphasize that this particular virtual conference, the first one being presented by Semantech Incorporated, is dedicated to exploiting real-world, immediate opportunities utilizing semantic technologies. We mention this because a lot of people don't think that this technology is mature yet, and in fact it is. It's available right now. It can be applied right now. We're going to show how and why this approach will become as revolutionary for enterprise IT as the introduction of networks and the internet was over the past 10 to 20 years. And we're also going to demonstrate exactly what types of problems the semantic enterprise will solve and what kinds of enhanced capability it's going to provide for you. This virtual conference, as well as a number of others that are going to be coming up, have been brought to you by Semantech Incorporated. We believe in innovation, and we build that into everything we do, including our presentations and our solutions. We're more than an IT company. We're solution providers, and we're problem solvers. We hope that you enjoy this particular presentation and the others that are going to be coming up. The other conferences that we have coming up over the next couple months include specific conferences on cybersecurity and enterprise architecture, plus follow-ups related to specific aspects of semantic technology. As always, we invite you to join us on any one of our websites or social media sites to find out more about semantic technology or about Semantech the company and what we do. We're on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and we'll be doing more social media fairly soon. Until the next time, thanks for joining us.